Alright guys, what's poppin'? This is the UFC 219 Hangover. The headline was Holly Hom versus Chris Cyborg. And man, there was some incredible fights on this card. It was a little lackluster because the Jimmy Rivera fight came off, or they had to cancel that fight. But overall, I don't know. For me, I was excited to see how Cyborg does. I think she's a huge draw. I think she's tough to sell because she has a steroids past, because her structure is so much more masculine than the other female fighters, and with the history of PED accusations, it's interesting. But I actually really thought that Holly Holm was going to present a decent amount of trouble for her, but I think the odds at the time were correct. Let's see, I ended up getting the line at here. I ended up getting the line at minus 363. But when I first looked at the line, it was at like minus 415 for Cyborg. But yeah, so I hit that. But let's see here. that was an easy pick. But I don't think anybody thought that Holly Holm was going to be able to go 5 rounds. And some of the notes that I took was that number one, Holly Holm looks surprisingly strong, if not stronger than Cyborg. I don't know if that was intentional by Cyborg, but every time they got into the clinch up against the cage, Holly dictated it. She dictated who was pressing up against the cage, where the battle went from there. Cyborg looked like she was just happy, waiting to counter Holly Holm. And the funny thing is, this one interaction happened over and over again, where Holly would throw out like a lazy jab and then come in with a straight punch, and she kept catching Cyborg right in the face with that straight left over and over again. And it's because Cyborg was sitting there trying to counter with the right. She thought she was going to be strong enough, maybe even to eat Holly's punch and land her own. But and not just this fight, but the last fight Cyborg had, it took her a while to put away Evinger. So I don't know. I don't know if it's an age thing. I don't know if competition is just somewhat closer to her skill level, but she's not dominating fights. Like, if you look at that fight, yes, Holly lost, but it went to decision. It went 5 rounds. Holly connected a decent amount of times, bloodied up Cyborg's nose. Granted, Holly was the toughest competition that she's faced so far, but I thought it was interesting. One of the mistakes that Holly was making, though, was that she kept circling to her left, which was towards Chris Cyborg's right, which is her power hand. I noticed that Holly was working the clinch to possibly try and gas out Cyborg. So one of my predictions pre-fight was that maybe if the fight goes in the later rounds, Cyborg will gas. And I only said that because I've never seen Cyborg go 5 rounds. She is much bigger, carries on much more muscle. Typically that burns you out quicker. But nah, Cyborg is a conditioned machine, literally. She had no issues fighting 5 rounds hard, and neither did Holly. Let's see, I wrote down Holly's striking flaw is she comes in with combos in a straight line. Yeah, she likes to come running in like this, and her combos are pretty similar. Like, she doesn't really mix it up too much. But yeah, as I mentioned before, the same exchange, Holly keeps throwing her straight left. Cyborg tries to counter with the right hook. Eventually Cyborg made her adjustments, but not before Holly caught her quite a few times right on that nose. Another thing that I noticed about Holly is she's very left side dominant. So she's southpaw. So yeah, I mean, naturally her left hand is going to be more dominant, but even with her kicks, they all came from the left foot. So I feel like if she really wants to mix it up and challenge the top echelon, she's got to switch it up and be as proficient with her right hook and her right kicks as well. Let's see. Yeah, so Cyborg had no cardio issue. Holly Holm has a chin, and yeah, her boxing is good, not great. Cyborg's flaw: straight left hand from the southpaw and lateral movement. Yeah, so it was interesting. Like, I feel like Cyborg got exposed a little bit. Like, she was having problems with that southpaw position. If you evade her enough, Cyborg is patient enough to just wait for you. She won't chase you around the ring or the octagon. But overall, man, I thought it was a pretty intriguing fight, and I think it's a loud testament to see non-Ronda Rousey women's championship main event fights. Like that was the headliner. I don't have the numbers yet, but I'll get it for you guys. But I'm interested to see how the pay-per-view did. The co-main event, and probably the reason why I bought the card: Edson Barboza versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. And oh my god, what utter destruction! Like, and I was the most nervous, so I picked Khabib. Obviously, I went with the odds. But damn, I told Michelle I was the most nervous about this fight. But surprisingly, Khabib dominated Barboza way more than Cyborg did Holly, and their lines were very similar. Barboza had his moments. He did catch Khabib with a spinning heel kick. I thought that was pretty nasty. He opened the fight with 6 inside leg kicks in the first minute or two, and I was like, damn, are we gonna see a repeat of Gaethje Alvarez where Khabib's leg was just mangled? But I think the issue was Barboza wasn't able to generate as much momentum on the inside leg kick as he would be on the outside, which is his bread and butter. But I understand why he didn't throw the outside leg kick, because he didn't want Khabib to grab it and take him down. Not that it fucking mattered. Khabib took Barboza down almost at will. I was shocked to see Barboza get out of the clinch twice. I thought that was very impressive, and that says a lot about Barboza's game going up to the next level. But damn, dude, when Khabib grabs you and he takes you down, he does whatever he wants. At one point, he had both of Barboza's legs stuck together in between his legs while he was on top of him. So Barboza couldn't even hip escape. He couldn't use his feet to push off the hips. And that second round, when Khabib took him down again, the look on Barboza's face literally said, crikey, I cannot be down here again. Like, he looked utterly destroyed, defeated, and just sad. Like, why I gotta be here on the ground eating these Dagestanian punches to the face. And man, but that third round, that said the most to me. Barboza is fucking game, dude. He is not gonna sit down for anything. I mean, he had no shot winning that fight at that point, but he kept throwing, kept kicking, kept defending, and it was a crazy fight. It was eye-opening. I think it was eye-opening enough to where Conor McGregor has been Instagramming and kind of throwing shade over at Khabib, and Khabib's been responding. So we might be seeing a potential Irish-Russian main event, maybe in Russia. I mean, if Conor agrees to that and he pulls a Rocky Balboa and he goes to Russia and he fights Khabib there, and if he wins, he will be the greatest combat athlete superstar. I mean, he just got done fighting Mayweather, which put him on the map bigger than ever. And now he's going to go into a part of the world where, man, there's just a whole millions and millions and millions of people that we don't even really pay attention to. But Conor's going to literally be a global figure if he goes there and murks Khabib. Granted, I think out of the 155-pound division, Khabib has the greatest chance of beating Conor because of his natural skill set. Khabib is not a stand-up fighter. He should not try. I think that if he tried to stand up with Barboza the whole first round and not take him down, I think it would have been a bad night for Khabib. But again, on the ground, he has no equal. He has zero equal. I don't even think the BJJ black belts like Damian Maia, I mean, they're all bigger than him, but I just don't think any of the BJJ black belts could even fuck with him on the ground. But yeah, I'm excited to see Barboza fight again, and I'm excited to see if Khabib takes a fight with Ferguson, and if they do, that means they're probably going to strip Conor of his belt, or if they fucking make Conor fight Ferguson, and then Khabib is going to have to wait. I don't see Khabib taking a fight until that fight happens, but shit, Conor might not come back until middle of next year, so it's a little clogged, it's a little tied up, but we'll see. Let's see. The fight before that was Cynthia Calvillo versus Carla Esparza. Only reason why I'm mentioning this is because I put decent amount of money on Calvillo. I thought she was going to win this pretty easily. Esparza hasn't looked good outside of her wrestling. But man, her striking improved a lot. And I think Calvillo was a little surprised that Cynthia wasn't just going in for, or not Cynthia, that Carla wasn't going in for double legs or single legs to try and take her down. She actually stood in the pocket and she outstruck Calvillo. But here's the note. I think Cynthia Calvillo sat there and kind of let Carla hit her because she ate a couple of her punches and was like, oh, you don't have enough power to knock me out. So she was trying to eat one to give one. However, she ate two to give one, and it reflected on the scorecards. I think that Carla Esparza did win, even though Calvillo had this like shocked look on her face. But yeah, so that was a bad bet by me, but I don't even know what happened. I thought Calvillo was going to out-wrestle her, out-hustle her, out-strike her, but Carla stepped up her game from her last fight. Like, she's added some tools, and she's definitely gotten better at striking. She should still never fight Joanna Jędrzejczyk for the rest of her life. And I was mentioning this, but the fight I was looking forward to the most was the Carlos Condit fight, and he just, I don't know, he looked a little too intense and antsy in the beginning. Magny was catching every kick that Carlos Condit threw. I was just yelling at the screen, Carlos, stop throwing naked leg kicks. Stop throwing naked leg kicks. But the announcer broke it down pretty well. They were like, it's almost like Carlos likes to start his combos and his sequences with a low leg kick, sometimes a low inside leg kick instead of a jab. And so he's kind of conditioned to start everything from that movement, that position. And Magny knew it. He was catching every leg kick, and it took him down, and that was the end of the story. Yeah, Carlos Condit could not win the clinch battle with the underhooks. Magny constantly had the underhooks on Condit, and that's why he was able to take him down. And if Carlos loses, this is the way. This is the only way Condit loses, on his back, being taken down. But if it's a stand-up fight, which is what I was hoping for, I would always give the edge to Condit. But man, so I was wrong on that. So essentially, I went 2 for 2 or 2 for 4 on the night. Not a great night of picks, but a decent amount of good fights for not having a lot of hype and big names headlining the card. I hope Carlos Condit does come back and fight again. I think that layoff did affect him. I guess there is such thing as ring rust. And yeah, I mean, Magny's always going to be a mid-level player, but Condit should not have had that much trouble with him. Yeah, let's see. What was that line for that? Condit was... Oh, no. Condit was minus 150. Okay, so the odd makers had it pretty close. Khabib was a minus 319 when Cyborg was a minus 363. Calvillo was a minus 240. So overall, didn't make any money. It didn't make any money on the fights, but enjoyed it nonetheless. I did actually play up. No, that was right. I did only play 4. So hopefully 220 will be good to me. I'm just going to make one big bet, and that's on Francis Ngannou. I think the line was at minus 188 when I checked last. It's probably moved since then, but man, I don't know. The co-main event is Daniel Cormier versus Ozdemir, but Ozdemir is such an X factor that I don't even want to play that bet. Like, naturally, I would pick DC because I think he's the greatest 205er not named John Jones, but Ozdemir is a big, tall, strong dude, and we don't have a ton of film on him. He's been knocking dudes out. But let's not forget, DC took the right hand from hell from Anthony Johnson and got up and fought the rest of that fight. Even the head kick that John Jones landed didn't KO Cormier. Like, that fool's got a tough-ass dome. But yeah, I think I'm going to drop some money on Ngannou to take Miocic. If there's a line where the fight doesn't go past the first round, I'm going to play that too. Yeah, so this is a quick brief UFC 219 hangover. I hope you guys appreciate it. Look out for the UFC 220 prelude where I make my picks and my calls. I will verify whether I'm going to go with Ngannou and or the Cormier fight. But I hope you guys enjoyed the recap, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.